Beautiful home. Home. So this is another live stream, 23rd of February. Let's see what's up here. So here we are. What's the time? It's the 26th of February 2023. And thank you for following your hearts and listening to your hearts and joining us now in this live stream. This is Zen Chill with Tao Chi Kai. Please feel free to share a story, maybe ask a question. This is a space, a time that we can just maybe relax together, and wherever you are, whenever you are, I send you blessings and good spirits. I'm the avatar known as Tao Chi Kai. Om Ni De Fu Om. So I've just made myself some of this Chinese hot drink consisting of orange, ginger and lemon and honey. Very wholesome. It will keep me warm and very nourishing at the same time. So I was in Vietnam and also Bangkok or in Thailand. I returned back to the UK a couple of days ago, just starting to settle back in. You know, I have to start working again, as we all have to do, I guess. We all have to make money somehow, isn't it? It's a necessity of life in this modern age, this modern world, where we exchange our time for what we describe as currency. And this thing that we use to barter with. But with that said, it's always nice and it's always wholesome to be reminded that in life, the most precious thing you have is time. Every moment, every breath of the way, time is really all we have. So for myself personally, I describe myself as someone who's not good at buying gifts. And the reason why is I really feel that just being present, just sharing the moment together is priceless. Just being together, sharing the moment is priceless. Just to stare at the sunrise, to see the sky change, the colours, the hues, listening to the birds sing, feeling that mist, that morning dew. That vapor, that cold vapor as we breathe in the morning. Yes, time is really all we have. And as I like to say, we got one life to live and one life to give. So please, if you'd like to ask any questions, feel free to share. Maybe you have a story to tell, maybe you have a poem, a sonnet, maybe some sadness you want to share, maybe you're going through something in a moment that you want to share. Yeah. I'm not sure how my sound is coming along, but it'd be nice if someone sent me a message. I'm not sure. And here we are. Okay, I finally realized what to press. It's always such a pleasure to be hanging out with you. I'm not sure what time it is now, wherever you are, whenever you are. I really hope that your day is going well. And if your day is not going well, I hope it will. Steely Matthews, it's always nice to hear from you, bro. I'm glad you can make it today. Gareth Evers writes, whatever happened to Swedish? So he's referring to the homeless gentleman in one of the videos that was uploaded about 2 years ago. I tried to make contact with Swedish numerous amounts of time, but I was unable to ever meet him. I've met other people that have come across him and said that he's still homeless, but he's fine, as best as he can be. My experience with Swedish was very heartwarming, you know. He told us his story of how he became homeless, how he was once a millionaire who owned a company, and through a string of unfortunate circumstances, he became homeless. I felt it was very beautiful that he was able to share his story. And for those of you who have watched that video, it gives you insight that, you know, when we see homeless people, we must realize that everyone has their own story. We can't jump to conclusions, we can't assume about things. You know, just take your time. If you find that you have a knee-jerk reaction to something, if you find that you're fearful of something, ask yourself, why am I fearful? And usually the answer is because you do not understand. So if you want to, if you can, next time you see a homeless person, you don't have to give them any money. Maybe you just sit by them or ask them how they're doing, strike a conversation. But yes, I really have faith that Swedish is fine wherever he is now. You know, we all have choices, isn't it, in everyday life. Our life is made up of choices. Where we are now is because of where we have been. Where we will be in the future depends on what we are doing now. There's always a choice, always. So I have faith that wherever Swedish is, he's fine. In his journey, on his journey, he is fine. Blocks ASMR, thank you so much for being here. It's always nice to see members in the stream, and I don't say often, but I really want to thank you all from the deepest reaches of my being for following and being a member and supporting this channel, and in some way you believe in what it is that I'm doing. So I thank you so much. Joanne PR writes, what is supposed to happen? That is such a existential, philosophical question. Well, the answer is anything you want. Ducky Rockstar writes, hi, I love your video content. Well, thank you, Ducky Rockstar, for watching. And I'm sure you've left a bunch of comments under the videos, and I thank you for that. VX writes, Tao, you are a legend, and I look up to you. Thanks for the amazing wisdom over the years. Well, thank you, VX. Thank you for opening your heart, you know. The wisdom that you see in me is acknowledged by the wisdom within you. Thank you. Joanne PR writes, I enjoy watching the videos. Lee Wiley writes, I love your content. Great job. VX writes, hey Tao, I have a question. What is your fondest childhood memory? Sorry if it's hard to come up with on the spot. What's my fondest childhood memory? You know, the first thing that comes to my mind is the time when I was about 4 or 5. I wouldn't say it is a fond memory, but it's a memory that holds very near and dear to me. So I was about 4 or 5 years old, and our family had just come to the UK, just come to the United Kingdom as refugees, and we lived up in the middle of the UK, up in Mansfield. And I just remember being on my little tricycle, my three-wheeler tricycle, and just cycling around, just exploring the world. Back then I couldn't speak a word of English, and that's a fun memory. It was really nice. There was open fields where we lived at the time, and it was good memories. You know, open fields, being outdoors, fresh air. And there was no such thing as mobile phones back in them days. See, I'm 46 years old now, so this is a time way before mobile phones. So we used to go out and play until it was dark, or until you was hungry. But that's a fun memory. Thank you, VX, for that question. I really appreciate that question. Lisa writes, new subscriber to your channel, would love to see some foot massages from you. Well, Lisa, there's a bunch of videos coming up, and I hope you enjoyed them. There's going to be some foot massage videos. Yes, I need to start doing more. The thing is, with these videos that I create, is not as straightforward as many people might think. There's a lot of organisation to do. You know, I have to find models or find people who are willing to have themselves being filmed. I need to find camera people and such, but it's definitely in the works. So you will be seeing massage videos where I will be massaging feet. And feet are very interesting things. I love massaging in general. I love holistics. I love helping people. And it's an art form. It is an art form, and you might notice that the way that I work is very intuitively, but feet are very interesting. Oliver Wookie writes, hey Kai, quick question. As someone who is also based in London, does the noise of the city ever make it hard for you to stay at peace? That's a good question, Oliver. The answer is, you know, with myself, I've been practicing this for quite some time now, and the thing that I practice is called meditation. Meditation is a state of being. We practice to become not attached. We practice to just be beholding, and it's a thing where once you acknowledge from where you are perceiving from, you will find out very, very soon enough that from within, everything is the same. So what I mean is, right now, I'm very aware that I'm perceiving from within my own consciousness. That even the sounds externally are very similar to the thoughts that we may have in our mind. I practice to be not clinging or attached to these thoughts. Likewise, I do not attach or become deterred or disturbed by external forces that might be sound or other people's actions or reactions. So really, if you practice just to go within, to really observe from where you are perceiving from, this will really help. I've often said that, if I had to help someone and it was in the middle of a war zone, I'll still be able to do it. And you would notice in my videos that I do this. My awareness is present, but also if I'm helping someone, I do not get disturbed by what's happening around me. I'm fully committed, fully present with the person I'm helping with. I hope that answers your question. Thank you. Box ASMR writes, no one likes starting working again. Well, that's true. But and this is something that I've been trying to remind my son. My son is 10 years old now. And I say to him, do your best in school so that one day you can do a job that you love. And if you do something you love, it's no longer work. It's play. So I'm very blessed and humbled that the work, in quotes, that I do is really something that I love. So I wake up every morning really excited, really looking forward to who I'll be helping next. So for me, I don't really work in that sense. I'm very blessed. So my best advice to anyone really is, find something that you love doing. Don't think about the money just yet. Just keep on doing what you love. Some kind of service, to help or aid others, something. And eventually the money comes, and it'll come in such a way where it's no longer attached to guilt, There's always this part of us where if you're having to work for money, there's always this kind of like guilt attached to it. Guilt to receiving some kind of currency for what you do, or even this guilt of charging for something that you do. And I'm saying this because it's something I experienced for myself. But if you do what you love, it's no longer work. It becomes play, playful, loving play. Thanks, Blocks ASMR. Right, we've got a Russian speaker here, but they write in English. Hello from Russia, St. Petersburg. Well, hello, Russia. I send my love and blessings to everyone in Russia, and in particular St. Petersburg. Seradif Hellman writes, awesome to see you. Hope everyone is doing well this afternoon. Greetings from Florida. Master TCK is the best. Wonderful home. Seradif, it's so nice to hear from you, and you're here again. It's very it's always a pleasure to see you. Seradif is a member, and he's been in these live streams quite often, and it's nice to see you, bro. Sending my love and blessings to everyone in Florida. Fleck Diesel. Hey brother, it's always nice to see your name pop up. Brandon Vincent writes, watching you from the sky. Wow, I love that. Whenever I think of the sky, it evokes an opening, It evokes surrender, it evokes liberation, freedom, it evokes ascendance, transcendence. That's a beautiful word. There was this thing that I often say, if you ever have turmoil, if you ever feel in disarray, just remember your mind is like a clear sky. Thoughts come like clouds. So when you look at clouds and observe carefully, clouds come from a clear sky. And if you just watch and do not become attached or involved, the clouds will dissipate, will clear back into clear sky. And your mind is no different. So just allow the thoughts to come and go, come and go. And that's it. And you'll notice that with thoughts, there's always a space that separates one thought from the next. Look out for those spaces. The more you behold, the more you observe, those spaces become much more greater. And I like to say, eye for sky clear. Allow yourself to really see the spaces between the thoughts. Allow yourself to really acknowledge the clear sky. Become the clear sky. So VX is in Detroit, Michigan. It's 4:32. Well, it was 4:32 there. Zerodef Hellman writes, pray for peace and Zelensky brought to justice. Steele Matthews writes, always happy to be here. And it's always a pleasure for you to be here, Steele Matthews. Emil Escaped writes, hit the like, it's free. That's amazing. You know, I wasn't very aware of this before, but now I'm aware, you know, I'm trying to grow my channel, isn't it? This whole YouTube thing for me happened by accident. None of this was ever planned. But when you guys show your support by leaving comments, by liking, by disliking, by sharing, it really helps. It helps so much. So I thank you from the deepest reach of my being for, you know, for following me along this journey. I don't know where it's going to go, but you know, I have this vision, and I have faith that this vision will reach fruition. And I really hope that you know, come along with me and see it happen, because this vision that I have, it makes me goosebumps when I think about it. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Oh, massive thank you to Seredith Hellman, who donates $5. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. The money that I receive through donations, I have a pay it forward on my website, but all donations that I have, it goes back into the community. Either by me teaching for free, or helping out in the public, or when I give money to the homeless. It could be clothes, it could be food, it could be anything like this. So, you know, thank you, and know that the donations you give are paid forward. Thank you. Anthony Rivera writes, would you be able to give advice? Of course I can, Anthony. It's I'm not sure if I can give advice, but I can certainly offer an opinion, you know. Something that I've always acknowledged and I realized is I know nothing. You know, I'm very aware that I only know what I know, you know. And if I ever give any opinion, it's always from my own experience, but it's always going to come from a place of truth, of honesty. It will be coming from a place of mindfulness. So if I can, I will give you my opinion or my perspective on any query or question you have. But if it's things to do with meditation, to do with mindfulness, to do with holistics, to do with body, then I can give you, I can talk from experience, from knowledge, from lived knowledge and experience. Jonas Cool writes, the best of London. Kuba writes, did you get any healing in Vietnam? Kuba, thank you, that's a really wonderful question, and the answer is yes. I was able to locate and find blind massage therapists, and it was something that I had already wanted to share from for some time now. And because of lockdown and pandemic, I couldn't travel, and I'm very grateful that I've been able to travel. And in Vietnam, I was able to find blind massage therapists, and one in particular moved me. He really helped me a lot. In the video, I haven't edited it yet, but when it's edited, you will see that I break down in tears. This young man, he had helped me in a way where very similar to how I help others, and I was so moved. Even now I'm feeling quite lost for words. Ooh, geez Louise, I'm remembering the moment when he helped me. But yes, I did get some healing, and you will see very shortly, if in the upcoming weeks and months, videos from Vietnam that I'm still in the process of editing now. Of course, members of the channel, because to thank them, they get to watch the videos that I edit first, usually between 1 to 3 months before public release. But you'll see like previews of these videos. I always upload previews first, just to let everyone have an inkling, a little taste of what's to come. But thank you for that question, and the answer is yes, I did find healing, and I learnt some new things that I'm very excited to practice, to implement in my tools, in my set of tools. It was an amazing experience. If you ever get the chance, go to Vietnam, find yourself a blind massage therapist, or go to Southeast Asia. Because in Vietnam, where I'm born, we say that if you are born blind, it means that you have been given the gift of healing hands. Someone who's blind becomes very intuitive. All their senses are heightened, and you can only imagine how sensitive, how intuitive their sense of touch becomes. It's almost like they see with their hands. Myself, when I am helping others, you will notice that sometimes it looks like I'm looking away. I don't look at the person, and the reason why is I'm also using my other senses, not just my eyesight. I look away so I can start using what I describe as my middle eye. And this is something what blind massage therapists do. They use their middle eye very often. They have to. But yes, you got these videos to look forward to. So Anthony Revere asked the question, would you be able to give advice in regards to massage techniques being in a wheelchair? So are you referring to massaging someone in a wheelchair, or someone in a wheelchair giving a massage? I can answer the question where helping someone who's in a wheelchair, and the answer is yes, you can massage someone in a wheelchair. It shouldn't restrict in any way, I often help people in many situations. Some people I help might be bedridden, they might have a stroke, or they might be in hospital, they might have some kind of terminal illness, or very weak and they can't get out of bed. And I'm called to help them to ease their suffering, to give them some kind of relaxation, or at the very least help them just to breathe a little bit better. So I'm able to help people in any kind of position, either laying down, maybe they're just only are able to sit up, and also obviously I can help athletes and people, most people who have general movement mobility. If someone who is in a wheelchair massaging, I feel you can. I really feel you can. Your ability, no matter how able you are, it shouldn't affect your want or your yearning to help others. If you're in a wheelchair, it shouldn't stop you from wanting to help others. And so I really feel, you can still help others if you're in a wheelchair. It shouldn't stop you. If anything, it will inspire others. It will evoke some kind of inspiration in others to follow suit. I hope that answers your question, Anthony. Joe Jordan writes, wait, is this live? I hope so. This is a live stream. Welcome to everyone who's here. And also welcome to you, dear viewer, who is watching this sometime in the future. You followed your heart, you listened to your heart, and something about the title of this video, maybe my smile, maybe the vibes, my aura or something has, made you decide to click on this video. Thank you. Thank you for being here and sharing this present moment with us all. And to everyone who is here on the live stream, it's nice, isn't it, for us to all be here now, just relaxing, I guess. Maybe you're making your way now to work and you're listening in your car. I hope you have a good day. Maybe right now you're in the office and you're listening to this in the background. Just remember to make some time to move off that seat and give your body a nice little stretch. Yeah, set a timer. And if right now you are lying in bed, getting ready to sleep, I really hope that you find this conversation, this sharing to be relaxing, to help you to drift to a dream state. Thank you. Carl Carnigan writes, Master Kai, my Achilles is better in time for my season. Thanks so much. Carl, I'm so happy that your Achilles is better now. So Carl, a few months ago, in one of the previous Zen Chill's streams, he asked me for some advice about his Achilles heels because he had damaged it, he had hurt it. And I gave him some advice, some exercises, some breathing exercises, some things. And he's followed advice and he's become better. But Carl, it's an honor that I've helped you in some way. And I'm not going to wish you luck because you're going to do really well. I got a good feeling about it. Just as long as you love, really love what you're doing. Oh man, bro. Just, you'll be in the zone, you'll be fine. Saradith Hellman writes, I support you in this channel because you support us. Can't put a price on wisdom and learning. Saradith, thank you so much. And as I say before and I say again, the wisdom that you see in me, that you acknowledge in me, is acknowledged with the wisdom within you. I thank thee. Michael D writes, I like how you end your videos. Yeah, it's been taking time, isn't it? Like I said, this whole YouTube thing started by accident with me. The first video that I had uploaded was for my students. It was at the end of a class and I was showing them how to massage each other after training. And one of the students filmed me doing this and told me to upload it. So I did, and I uploaded it thinking that it was for the students to re-watch the video so they can learn in their own time. And lo and behold, a few months later, one of my students said to me, oh, master or teacher, he said, Sifu, he said, oh, did you know that video you uploaded has more than 400,000 or something views? And I was like, whoa, I had no idea. And it went until I think a few months later when I uploaded again. I wasn't very interested in this whole YouTube thing because it was really another world, something that I could not fathom in that sense. But as time has progressed, it's turned doubt that this is a very amazing, what I describe as a very good opportunity for me to teach more, to show and share more knowledge. So I'm very grateful, very humbled with how this channel is growing, and wow, with your support, with everyone that's here, and also for all the people who watch. It's together we are, I like to say, pay it forward. Everything that I do is always for the future, always for the future. I'm very aware, and I always remind myself that I was born into a world that had everything. I come into the world with nothing, and I'm also aware that when I go, I leave everything behind. I don't take nothing with me, not even this body, not even the memories. But I'm very aware that we can leave something behind for the future generations to come, to make it a little bit nicer, make it a bit easier, a bit happier, a bit joyful for the generations to come. But that's, wow, to me, what's the point of all this? Why am I here? If not to make it a bit more nicer. I want to help it in such a way where it's a world that I would love to enter into, and yeah, it's very close to my heart. I don't want to go too deeply about it now. Maybe another time. VX writes, that's an amazing memory. Thank you for sharing it with us. Thank you for asking that question. It really made me think. With myself, I don't often, in quotes, think. The reason being is I practice mindfulness. I don't hold grudges. I'm very lucky that my wife is the one that is very, she's very, she's very ordered, and with myself, I tend to just go with the flow, so to speak. I'm always just riding the wave, and I tend not to think. I live every moment as it comes. I don't often think. So when you asked me that question, it made me have to, remember. So it was interesting. But thank you for that question. Brandon Vincent, watching from 35,000 feet, but landing soon. Brandon, oh man, I don't know where you're flying off to or flying from, but man, wow, I love being in the air as well. I love traveling. But I hope you have a safe flight and a safe landing. That's amazing. He's watching from 35,000 feet in the air, in the sky. Still, Matthew writes, feet are very sensitive too. Yes, indeed. So there's certain techniques that I use. I'm always intuitive, and what I find is some people are very ticklish, and there's ways to helping someone if they're ticklish. There's always ways. If someone has some kind of pain, there's always a way to get towards the pain, towards the root. And in feet in particular, yeah, they're very sensitive. Some people have very sensitive feet, and it might be very painful, but there's ways. I'm good. It's taken some experience to know what to do, isn't it? But always start off slow, gentle, loving, and then eventually you can go a bit more, more deeper into the problem. Jordan Dean writes, I appreciate you, sir. And Jordan, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for leaving that comment. Oliver Wookie writes, thanks. Appreciate the answer, brother. Keep up the amazing work. Peace. everything but VX writes, Tao, how did you change mindset-wise from your 20s into how you think now? I'm 24 myself, and I would like to hear how your life evolved through your 20s into your 30s. Whoa. So in my 20s, I was an angry individual. The person that you, or the avatar that you behold now is very different to the character that I once played. Now, I'm very aware that the shell that I'm in possession of, it decays, isn't it? But the character that we play, it can change. But the character that I played when I was in my 20s, it was very angry, very angry. I was quite violent in my 20s. I was very angry. I was very, I did not like any authority figures. I was not in a good place, you know. I don't want to go too deep just yet. And at the time as well, I had been diagnosed with schizophrenia and depression. But all of it stemmed from things that had happened in my childhood, in my past. It was all traumatic things. I ended up being in prison. I ended up being in mental health wards, you know, being what we call sectioned. I also was involved in things that are not good. I was involved in organised crime, what we describe as triads, when I was young. And this continued on until 30s. Something happened for 30s. I spent a lot of time being recluse as well, you know. When I say recluse, meaning that I would stay in my room and not leave my room. I had become very alienated. I'm 46 years old now. This avatar that you see now, it was born 11 years ago, 2011. Prior to that, I was very different to how I am now. But the journey that I am on, it has been gradual. So what I'm saying to you, brother, is however you are now, just know that your journey is still unfolding. You know, there's no easy way, there's no shortcuts. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, you know. The avatar that I play now is not perfect. You must remember this. Do not put me on a pedestal. I have to urge this often to people, even to my students. I say to them, I'm not your teacher. There's nothing that I can teach you. We are all equal. But what I'm saying to you, brother, is your journey is still unfolding. It's always unfolding. There is no shortcuts. There is no end. You know, there's no end game. There's no destination. Because, you know, the character that I'm playing now, for all I know, it can change tomorrow. It could change in 10 years' time. It's always changing. But the main thing, my best advice that I can say to you is follow your heart, man. Just be honest. This is something that I really wished when I was going through my torment and my disarray, that I had met someone like myself and who told me just to be honest to myself. Because the character that I once played was a liar. He lived a life of lies. It was so much things that I had been running away from, you know, and it was all built upon layers and layers of trauma of things that happened to me when I was a child. I was not aware of it when I was going through my my teens and my late teens. I didn't understand why I was so violent, you know. But it went until I had my rebirth, you know, when I committed suicide, when I came close to death, or even experienced a near-death experience, when I realized that, wow, the character that I was playing had a traumatic experience, and it was just a character, and I could change that character. I could become a new character. I could be reborn. It weren't until I fell to the depths of hell when I realized that I can ascend and rise like the phoenix rising from the ashes. But the best advice that I can give to you is just to be honest with yourself. Use that inner compass of self-honesty. No matter what you do in life, no matter what you say, just be honest to yourself. If you're saying something, just think to yourself, is that the truth? Because really the only person you're lying to yourself is yourself. And even in your actions, your interaction with other people, make sure they're honest. If you want to help someone, help them honestly. You have to ask yourself, why am I helping that person? Is it because I really want to help them, or is it because I'm just doing it for me? Because there was a time in my life when I felt that I was helping people, but I really wasn't. What I was doing was actually causing more trouble. There's so much that I could talk about this, and I really want to give more time for this. There's a lot of these things that I'm telling you now, haven't really spoken to a lot of people about it. I'm what's the word? I might be quite extroverted, but at the same time, I'm very, what's the word? Yeah, I'm both introverted and extroverted, if that makes any sense. But I hope within what I've just said to you, you felt the essence, you felt something there. But thank you so much for that question, and I hope in some way it's going to help you on your journey right now. Gareth Evers, who's a member, writes, thanks for the answer, Kai. Hopefully Swedish got those things you left him. Yeah, I'm sure he did, because when I returned back to that shop, they said that they had seen him. It just so happens that I don't bump into him. But I've said this to people and my nephew in particular. I say to people that when I go out and help the homeless, I'm very aware that I only can help a certain amount of people, a certain day, a certain time. What I'm saying is, if you want to help someone, or when I help someone, I always help them in the present moment. If I try to help everyone, it's impossible. It's like when you go out and if you want to give money to the homeless, you can't give money to everyone because you don't have enough money to give it to everyone. You only give to who you feel you want to give, if that makes any sense. You can't feel guilty that you can't give it to everyone. It's a fine line, So when I help homeless people, I help them for that present moment. I can't ask them to come back to my house and live with me and get them a job and try to sort out their whole life. I can't do that. If I do that, then I have to do it with everyone, and I can't do that. So that's why I say I always help people in the present moment, always in the present moment, just for those brief moments. If I can make them feel human, if I can help them to feel loved, it sows a seed of hope in them, that their life doesn't have to be the way it is, and that also not everyone is mean. There's good people out there. It's just that we have to really show ourselves. The more you show, the more you can inspire others. This is how we really help each other. We help each other by inspiring each other. I know right now it sounds you can't help people by preaching. You can't tell people how to live their lives. So for me, the best way that I know I can help people is by inspiring people. Inspire. Lead by example, live by example. Steely Matthews writes, that's how I feel in my photography, to charge people. Yeah, Steely Matthews, I know exactly what you mean. When I first started to charge for my massage, I felt really bad, asking for the money. I didn't know how much to charge. In the beginning, I used to charge what we describe as not a lot. And people would be surprised of the amount I charged. It would be like £5 or £10 or something. Sometimes I ask people just to give me some food. But it's taken me time to not feel guilty for receiving money. And this is something that I think that you're probably on a journey at the moment to discover for yourself. Remember that in life, the most precious thing that we have is time. You have to look at it that way, you have to. Because, you know, if you can judge it if you can base how much you charge on that, then it will feel right. It will feel right. You know, I hope that makes sense, Stevie Matthews. But, you know, I wish you luck on that journey, because I've been through that journey. And even now, people tell me that I don't charge enough. I haven't raised my prices in London, and I'm not sure where you are in the world, but after the pandemic, the prices of everything went up. And for myself, I haven't increased my prices for my services. I've kept them at the same price as it was before the pandemic. I might gradually increase it, but not just yet. Not just yet. But I want to make it so it's accessible for everyone, you know. Stefano writes, what is the most Zen spot in London, in your opinion? Greetings from Edinburgh. Stefano, the most Zen spot anywhere is within yourself. That's the honest answer. You know, if you can find that point of reference from where you perceive from within your own being, that there is the most peaceful spot. That is where we describe as the eye of the storm. You know, the center. That there is the most Zen spot. If you can find that spot, it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in a prison, you could be in the middle of a war, you could be dying, and you will feel at peace within your own being. That there is something that is profoundly true. MM writes, hi, what are the lyrics to the song in your opening and what do they mean? I've always been curious, thank you. So if you're talking about the ding, 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 ding. So I created that song on GarageBand, believe it or not, on my iPad. It took me about half an hour. It took me about half an hour to make that tune. And that tune is based on something that was from my childhood. So when I was about 6 or 7, and I was living in London, but also up in the middle of London, I was being harassed by the kids. They were very racist. You know, I was the only Oriental or Chinese kid in school, and they all used to make fun of me. And they used to do like ding, 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 and they used to use that melody, and they used to call me Bruce Lee and push me around. So that song that I created is literally a middle finger to all those racist, those bullies in school, and to any bully right now. It's my homage, my middle finger to all the bullies and all the bigots and all the racists and all the closed-minded people. And the lyrics, it can mean whatever you want to mean. I literally made it up, literally. If you listen very carefully, it's more, the sounds that I make is more percussive, it's more to go with the beat. And the words don't mean anything. The words can mean whatever you want. I hope that answers the question. Elad Sensei writes, liked your brother's music clips. Cheers to both of you from the Netherlands. He's talking about Brother Prem. Yeah, Brother Prem is in Mexico at the moment. I went to see him last February, and it was so good to see him. You know, I missed him so much. He'd prior to Mexico, he was in the Philippines. He was there like for 2 years. So I hadn't seen him for like 4 years or something. And yeah, Brother Prem, that's what Elad Sensei is referring to, a video that I had uploaded. Reacting to my brother's music, and I send my love and blessings and good spirit to everyone in the Netherlands. Thank you so much for that. Vedana Jan Yajnik writes, go with the vision that you have, Tao, my friend. We are there with you. In these difficult times, you have been a sense of relief, even if for a second. You did your job very well. Thank you so much. Vidalin Yajnik, thank you. Thank you for, and everyone else for, following along to this journey that we're on. Life is a journey, so to speak, isn't it? We're born and one day we have to go. And in between, like what I always say is, hey, let's just get on with each other and let's be nice to each other. And it's my dream, my Zen dream, to leave behind a world that's a bit nicer. And this whole channel, this whole thing's about, educating or inspiring people, letting people know that there's ways that we can help ourselves, our family and our community. It starts off with you really wanting to help yourself first, to start a relationship with yourself. That's why holistics is very important to me. I highlight ways of you being able to help yourself, either through the Qigong that I teach, either through the mindfulness, the meditation that I teach, but also through the massage techniques, just to inspire you all that you can help each other. Little things like a hug, hugging your brother or your sister or your mother or your father, that there is the ultimate massage. Just to really inspire others, to pay it forward, to show others, to really, if we show love to one another, we can really help, because our children will watch us do this. Not just our children, but people around us. We inspire each other. And that's what this whole riding the wave of love is all about, for us to really start with ourselves, start a relationship with your body, and then having this, and then opening this and let it grow with how you treat and how you interact with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones. And then this extends to the community. And from there it goes outwards. And it always starts with the individual. Many of us kind of sometimes think, oh, how can I possibly help? And my answer is, help by helping yourself first. Help by helping yourself first. Follow your inner compass of self-honesty. Be honest with yourself. And then start working on your body, your temple of flesh and blood. This whole body. If your body is not feeling relaxed, if your body's stressed, then your mind starts kind of like following suit. Sometimes if you find that you've got problems in your mind, it's a bit easier if you help out the body and then the mind follows suit. Your perspective starts to unravel. But yes, thank you so much, Yadana Yajnik, for that. Saradef Hellman writes, I love the music. I have to say how much I appreciate your wisdom and teachings. When I'm off work, I know I can tune in and get myself out of adrenaline mode. I'm in law enforcement. Thank you and all the best. Oh, thank you, Saradef. It's an honor, and I'm very glad that I help you in some way. And much respect for you with the work that you do in the community, and I hope, and I really hope that you remain safe, but at the same time that you look after yourself, you have self-care as well. We spoke about this sometimes in the comments, me and Saradef, we speak on the comments, and you come across as a very, how to describe it, a mindful individual, someone who's very down to earth, and it's very encouraging and very heartfelt to know that there's individuals like Saradef Hellman in law enforcement. It's someone here thinking not just with their mind but also with their heart. Especially when we're interacting with the public, and we're all aware that it's not a safe line of work. And so, thank you, Saradef. Thank you. Vidanya Yajnik writes, love from India. Wow. I send my love and blessings and good spirit to India. Thank you. Hatam Mullah, who's been a member for 1 month, to an early bird member to Tao Chi Kai for 1 month. He writes, or they write, Dear Tao, if I may ask, why aren't you making videos like helping out the homeless, like the Charlie video? Well, Hatem, it's not all the time that I have someone to follow me along when I'm out in the streets. You know, it's every now and then I might have someone like my nephew or friend will come out and film. It's not often that happens. You know, I spend at least 1 day out of the week going out into the city to help homeless people. When it's cold, I can't help them as much with massage, so I help them by cutting their hair. If I'm not cutting their hair or massaging, I'll sit down by the homeless and just maybe share a meal and just talk. You know, these are little things. These are things that I do, and not all the time it is videoed, because sometimes also some people don't want to be filmed. So the videos that you see that with me helping the homeless, they're very special because, you know, they're like they're like special moments that have been captured. You know, nothing's ever planned. I hope that answers your question. I hope that answers your question. But the main thing is I really hope that it inspires other people just to go out, just have a conversation with someone that's homeless. Just have a conversation. Just remember they're a human being, you know. Everyone has their own story to tell. And sometimes if you've been sat there for like 6 hours, you know, asking for people for change, and everyone is ignoring you, everyone is regarding you as invisible. Many people are projecting bad or negative thoughts to homeless people. They really feel it. But just to have one person to maybe crouch beside them and say, hey, how you doing? That makes a world of difference. Just for someone to acknowledge you that you're there, it's a world of difference. So, yeah, I hope that answers the question. Tip writes, the brown eye. I don't know what that means, but yes. So the filming writes, I think Tao is or just got done traveling. Yes. So I returned back from Thailand 2 days ago now. So just settling back into the UK, you know, start working again. Traveling is beautiful, you know. I love traveling, but now I'm traveling differently to how I used to travel. In the past, I would, you know, I'll buy a ticket somewhere maybe for 3 months, and once I land at the destination without any plans, any itinerary, any schedule, I will just always go with the flow. From the moment I land in the airport, I'll start a conversation with someone, and then from that it will just take me around the country. And the only thing that I remember is when to leave, when I have to get back to the airport. And that's how I used to travel. In some way, when I went to Vietnam this time and Thailand, I did the same thing, but not at length. You know, I only went for 3 weeks because now I've got more responsibilities. You know, I'm 46 years old now, 45, turning 46 years old now, and the life I live now is different. I have more, in some way, obligations, you know, more responsibilities. I have people that rely on me, I guess, that are looking forward to classes or looking forward to me helping them with the massage. So I can't travel how I used to travel. It's not I can't, it's that I choose not to. That's a more honest answer. Sergey Proskurin writes, good luck. Blocks ASMR writes, definitely your smile. Yeah, the smile is so important, you know. It's so important. So I often remind my students during our Qigong classes to smile You know, we'll be doing certain movements and I'll notice people starting to like try too hard and their face will grimace and do all kind of things, and I'll often tell them smile, because if you can smile honestly, it gives you a reflection of how you're feeling internally. So that's a really good bit of advice that I can give to you. If you're doing exercise or if you're doing anything strenuous, even maybe if you're writing or something, if you want to change your mood, if you want to test if you are putting any unnecessary strain on your body or your psyche, smile. Just honestly smile. Maybe think of something that makes you smile, and that's going to really change your whole makeup. It's going to change your whole state of being. So smile often. And what really helps is if you maybe take a gentle breath through your nostrils as you smile and really acknowledge the breath coming in. It's like you're smelling gravy or something really nice. And as you acknowledge this breath coming in, smile. And to let the breath go, just sigh, just And you smile and you're sighing out. That really helps. It really helps to change your state of being. It's a life hack, so to speak. You know, even if you're maybe having an argument with someone or something, just take a gentle breath and smile, and it will just it will make you change. It will make you change. Steely Matthew writes, the title is the most important part. I think he's referring to the video, this live stream, I guess. Okor writes, hello my friend. Well, hello Okor. Thank you for joining us. So it's Sunday, 26th of February. It's 11:34 now in London, UK. You're joining myself and all these beautiful, wonderful beings here in this live stream entitled Zen Chill with Tao Chi Kai. And if you've just started watching, thank you for joining us. And for those watching in the future, thank you. Thank you for being here, you know, everyone. Right. What's the time now? It's 10:34. Nom writes, do you live alone? I live with my wife. You know, I live with my wife. We live in a flat, in a house. That's a flat in London. She's actually in a room at the moment. I told her that I'm doing a live stream so she doesn't accidentally walk in naked. But yes, I live with my wife. You know, with myself in the summertime, I often walk around naked. I have no shame. You know, I walk around naked in my home. I really don't care if anyone sees me. I don't care. If there was a law where I could walk around naked, I would. I love being free, you know. It's not because I'm being an exhibitionist, it's so much more comfortable being naked. Clothes get in the way. And also, if you're naked, there's nothing to hide. And I often say to people, I'm naked to the world. What you see is what you get. Bob from Argos writes, love your content, bro. Oh, thank you, Bob. When you say Argos, is that a place or is that the company? Right? In the UK, we have this company that sells all manner of things, and it's called Argos. I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to. Sarah T writes, did you ever have to stop doing your work due to draining of energy? Sarah, that's a really good question. You know, sometimes, it doesn't happen often, but sometimes I do have to take a break. It gets overwhelming. It really does. So in this space here that we're in at the moment, I have clients, you know, I have people who come to my home that I call my sanctuary for my help. And I open-heartedly provide the space for people to let go. And when I say let go, I mean let go of any kind of baggage that they have. And it can be very overwhelming, you know, especially if people have some kind of trauma or some kind of psychological issue. I give them a passport or a pass just to really let go. And along with the therapy, the massage therapy, I'm always trying to help people's mind and body. So yes, it does, and it can get overwhelming. Before, in the past, I would help maybe 7 people a day, and it was just too much for me. After a while, I got too drained. So now I've limited it to just 3 people per day, because if I don't, it can be very draining. So yes. But my best advice to those of you who are, wanting to be therapists and wanting to follow suit, to go on this path, becoming a healer or energy healer, my best advice to you is really find your internal integrity. Really, really come from a centered place when you want to help. You have to be very honest within your own being. And you must also ask yourself that, if you're doing this, do you really love doing it? You must love it. If you really want to help, you must love what it is that you do, what you're doing. Because if you're not really loving what you're doing, it shows. The cracks start showing. Always have integrity. So you'll notice in my videos, my body position, the way that I hold myself while I help people is always grounded, always centered. There's always a give and take, but remember, don't give too much and don't take too much. It's always a balance and always a harmony, a yin yang. If you can really uphold this, if you can really find your integrity, when you help others, be less likely for you to be drained, because if you give too much, you will be drained. And most of us, I don't know why, but most of us, we tend to take too much. We tend to take too much in general. There are those of us who give too much, but in my experience, many of us take too much. So when you're helping other people, really make sure that you love what you're doing. Really use your compass, use your intuition. But sometimes people take and take. You have to be careful of this. So with myself, in the mornings I wake up and I do my Qigong. I practice my family tradition Qigong, which is a moving meditational practice. This really helps me to maintain my state of mindfulness, my state of mental and physical mindfulness. So this really helps me in my everyday life, in every situation, not just with helping with others, but also right now as I'm communicating. When I am in a state of mindfulness, I speak in such a way where I'm not holding back, There might be some times when I'm not want to say everything, but it's only because I don't want to give too much away too quickly. But in general, I'm very open, I'm very free-flowing, and you will see this in the way that I help others. So I really hope that what I've said, what I've conveyed helps you. Thank you for that question. Nom asks, how old are you? Well, I'm 45, turning 46. I'm going to be 46 in July. And my wife has to remind me. Because if no one reminds me, I'm going to forget how old I am. I don't think about it. Every day is another day. The way I see it is you're born in a blink of an eye, you're going to have to go. So make the most of every breath. Stilly Matthew writes, I'm somewhat angry, but more because my mum is always nagging me. And I just need to move away and start doing my thing. Yeah, I feel you, Stevie, There was a time when I felt some kind of, like my mother, she's very overbearing. Like she smothers. When I look back at my childhood, and even now, my mother is, she's like 67 now. She's nearly 70, and she still mothers me in some way. But what I can tell you is this: once you move out, you're gonna miss her. Bro, make the most of your mum, man. Like, I want to speak the truth now. Like, there's gonna be a day when you're gonna have to say goodbye to her, and you're gonna wish that you had spent all those moments with her. Like, real talk, man, real talk. Our mothers, if they really love us, they nag because they love us. If you love your mum, have a think about that. Like, ask yourself, why is she nagging me? Why is she nagging me? Is she nagging me for her, or is she nagging me for me? Ask yourself that question, man. Because I'm sure once you move out, you're gonna miss her, man. But yeah, I feel you. And there's no rush to move out. If you're smart, stay at home and you don't have to pay rent. It's hard living independently, You might have to move in with some friends to share the bills, share rent. But while you're living with your parents, things are a bit easier. So there's no rush to move out, Michael D writes, I have lower back issues. Is there anything I could do to help it at home? Michael D, there are things that you can do, The first thing that I can really recommend is for you just to contemplate, look within and ask yourself some questions and be honest. Maybe the way you are, maybe your lifestyle choices at the moment might need to change a little so that you can move away from this path at the moment that has back pain. We need to acknowledge that the way we are now is because how we have been so far, and the way that we will be depends on how we are now. So that's the first thing that you have to acknowledge. Like, my best advice. After you have ascertained, after you have answered within yourself honestly that question, then you can now start to think how it is that you can change your lifestyle. And that there is going to really help to maintain you to move away from a path where you have lower back pain. But now, in terms of a tangible way of helping, it depends on what kind of back pain you have. I'm not very, I don't know unless you tell me. But if it's something to do, maybe if you sit down for too long, too often, what you need to do is start to help to relax, help to move in such a way where your hips are no longer tight, There's certain videos that you might see online and on YouTube. It might be like yoga might help, nice warm baths, You might even want to take a look at some of the videos of the live classes that I have uploaded. The Li Qi Gong classes that I have, some of them will help because I do touch base with lower back problems in those videos. A nice warm bath as well, often before you sleep, might help. But certainly you might, if you can, what I can advise is go and get a massage. In particular, get them to massage your glutes, your bottom, your glutes. Whereas if you sit down often, if your glutes tighten up, all the sacroiliac, all those muscle groups get tightened, and it starts affecting the pelvis. It starts affecting the way your lumbar, your lower spine can move around. So yeah, massaging the glutes can help the lumbar. Another thing that can help also is if you have low back pain, you have to get someone to massage your belly, your stomach. But you'll notice that if you've got low back pain, if you feel now within your own abdominal area, your organs, you will notice that they're stiff. Because remember, the organs are like muscles as well. If you have low back pain, it's most probably you have also very tense organs. So get someone, or maybe yourself, just to gently rub your belly. Remember to include mindful breathing as you do so. Just allowing the breath to come and go in a relaxed manner. Just rub your belly, either if you're lying down or maybe if you're sat. But I recommend lying on your back, raising your knees up towards you, and then rubbing your belly, and eventually your legs are going to start to want to fall down, gently want to settle, and then you just rub your belly. There's a few exercises that you could do that can help. But just to reiterate, what I really recommend for you to do, just become honest, make certain changes in your lifestyle choices that's going to help you to move away from a life path that has lower back pain. You know, I really hope that helps. Happy Sunday. Okay, Susan Constantino is another member, sends a heart shape. Thank you. JB writes, hello Kai. Sasun Gostantian. I apologize if I pronounce your name wrong. But thank you so much for being a member. Maya writes, hello Kai, happy Sunday. My first live, well, welcome. It's thank you for being here in this live stream. It's always nice to see new faces, and I hope you are enjoying your time here at the moment. If you're getting ready for bed, I hope you feel relaxed. If you're getting ready to go work, I hope you have a great day. And if you're working at the moment, just remember to set a timer and move away from the desk. Get up and have a little walk around the office. Give your body a little stretch. But thank you. Rachel writes, hey Kai. Hey Rachel. Steely Matthew writes, yeah, same, I'm still learning in my own mind as well, but I'm looking for a job now too, so I'm happy about that, and I've done first aid as well. Well, I hope you find a job that you enjoy, Steely Matthews, you know, I really hope so. And I said it early on, you know, if you can find it out what it is that you really love doing, eventually it's going to pay off. Eventually it will. And then work is no longer work. If you love what you do, it becomes play. And I feel very blessed and humbled that at the moment in my life I really love what I do. It's a blessing. And I've said to people before, you know, if I'm doing something, I only do it if I love it. If I find that I lose interest or I fall out of love in something I'm doing, I'll stop doing it. I'm not going to lie to myself, you know, especially with massage, especially with the people I help. I can't help you if I'm lying, you know, that you would feel it straight away. You would feel it straight away. If you ever had any kind of therapy, you would know if someone's tense. You hear me say it often in my videos that if you want to help someone, you need to feel relaxed yourself. If you feel relaxed, the person that you're helping will feel relaxed as well. But yeah, love what you do. Love. Danny Morgan writes, hi Kai, I hope your day has been great. I was wondering if you watch any sort of motorsport. Do I watch any sort of motorsport? Not really, Danny. I've watched the Grand Prix a bunch of times, but no, I don't watch any motorsports. Yeah, but I'm sure you do. Steely Matthew writes, I didn't see myself doing first aid, but it's worth it. Yeah, first aid, I did a course in first aid before. It's such a useful tool, you know, useful thing to know how to help someone in a situation like this. I really feel that everyone should learn some kind of first aid, you know, some kind of resuscitation as well. You know, it's worth it, it really is, because you never know, one day someone's gonna need your help, and if you have that knowledge, that skill set, you could save someone's life. So I think it's worth it. But well done, Steely Matthews. Nom writes, how do you feel? Are you happy? That's a profound question. How do I feel at the moment? I feel relaxed. I feel centered. Do I feel happy? I guess. I guess I do. I feel content. I think it's the right word to say. Because I practice mindfulness, I don't often have any extreme emotion, I guess. I'm always very rational. It's neither happy or sad. I just feel very present, you know. I hope that makes sense. But every now and then, if something moves me, if it brings me to laugh, or if it brings me to tears, or sadness, or anger, I will express it. But in terms of happy at the moment, I feel neither happy or sad. I feel very present. But I'm very glad. I'm feeling the vibes. I think that's the right answer. You know, because right now I'm very aware that there's a bunch of you guys right now in this live stream. I can feel everyone's vibes. Shoji writes, the legend himself. Oh man, I don't know how to reply to that, you know. It's really weird, it's happened a few times now. You know, I was with my son one day, and you know, people are starting to recognize me. They say, hey, they're like, oh, it's Tao Chi Kai. And when fans or people who follow me on YouTube, when they come, you know, to my sanctuary for a massage, and they speak to me as if they already know me, which is kind of the truth, because, you know, you guys watch videos of me and you know me more than I know you, and it's interesting to say the least, but always humbling as well though. And I always feel very honored when people travel so far to come see me, and always very humbled as well when I meet people, you know, on the streets that recognize me. It's very humbling. It's very humbling knowing that I'm touching, you know, touching people's lives in that way. It's very humbling, and humbling and interesting at the same time. I never thought this would happen. It's not something that I planned. Bailey McKinney, who's a member of Tao Chi Kai, writes, howdy all the way from small town Texas. Well, howdy Bailey. It's amazing that you're saying hello from Texas. Well, I'm sure I'll visit your town one day. maybe we can have a drink or something, you know. Osama Alam writes, love your content, man. Have you been to Australia? Yes, I've been to Australia. Australia is actually one of my most loved places. Australia is the place of my rebirth, you know. In particular, Byron Bay, New South Wales. I spent 3 months in Australia. I loved it. It was a place that I'm definitely gonna go back to. Yeah, Australia has a very special place in my heart. It's a place of my rebirth. Steely Matthew writes, yup, the live stream title is important. When people like the title, they'll click it. So I have a question for you guys. Is the title okay? Is Zen Chill with Tao Chi Kai a captivating title? Maybe I should name it something else. I don't know, but I think the title fits. Because it is Zen Chill. We're here just to chill out, to talk, I guess. And I encourage you, maybe you want to write a poem, maybe you have a story to tell, maybe you have a question, you know, it's up to you. The main thing is I hope that everyone that's present now is feeling more relaxed, you know, feeling more chill. And also for the listeners and viewers, wherever you are, whenever you are, that you're feeling chill, feeling blessed. Stevie Matthew writes, gotta be comfortable with your body. Yep. Man, it's your vehicle, you know. Always I thank my body. And also, I remind myself that this body is on loan. This vehicle is on loan, it's not mine. It's, you know, it's something that I possess at the moment. But one day, I'm gonna have to leave it. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, man. But yeah, while you've got it, just feel blessed. Blessed that you've got this vehicle to interact with other beings, to experience this place we call life. Nom writes, you're an inspiration. You make me feel like I can be a better person and not stress myself with life. Well, Nom, I'm very glad that I've helped you in that way. And yes, you got one life to live and one life to give, baby. Tiffany Scott writes, I really enjoy your videos. Thank you, man. Well, thank you, Tiffany Scott, for watching and for commenting. You know, I always appreciate comments on the videos. I read them all, and if I can, I reply. I have the comments on the videos, they are all monitored, I guess. I have to canvass them, I have to screen them. But sometimes people are very mean. They might leave racist or sexist comments or derogatory comments, and I delete them. I don't mind when people leave, like, you know, like when they criticize certain things that I do or whatnot. But if someone becomes derogatory, I just have no time for it. I just delete it straight away. But you know, I really appreciate when people comment, and especially when people like leave comments with questions of, you know, if they need some kind of advice, I would take my time to reply. I really do. And it's really, I find comments are wonderful because when you leave a comment, just remember that this comment is left for other people to read. So you might be inspiring someone else. You might be helping someone else with your comment. And I just find it funny that some of us who write really nasty comments, they don't realize like what a waste it really is, you know. This thing that we call the internet, this archive, you know, all these things that we are putting into the internet, into this virtual world, it might be here for a long time, you know. So when I write things or anything that I write, I always make sure it's something meaningful. It's something that I can imagine my great grandchildren reading one day and say, you know, my forefather wrote this. You know, I always remember that. It's very important, you know. Well, I've got there's much more here. Sarah T writes, I'm a massage therapist 10 years plus, and I am at the point of knowing and I want to help more, but in a space of it not draining. Your message definitely helps. I've come from a place of not taking or being taken. I have to come from a place, yeah, that's right, Sarah. It takes time. It really is. You have to show compassion. You know, we have to show compassion towards ourselves. This is something that I learnt, you know, on my journey. When we are compassionate towards ourselves, if we love ourselves, I mean, when I say self, I mean the body, you know, this temple, flesh and blood. When we can really start that relationship with our body, become present, and then we find what we describe as integrity, you know, that point of reference from where we perceive from where we give and take from. If that is really centered, then that's going to really help the one that we are helping. And yeah, it's always nice to talk to other therapists. You know, we kind of know each other, isn't it? We know the things that we go through. But that's why the videos that I upload, I'm always constantly trying to show and tell. You know, always share. So recently I was in Vietnam. I was traveling in Vietnam and Thailand, and I learnt more things. It's another thing that I really feel that we should strive to do as therapists and as anyone really is be open to learn more. Open just to go out there and just find other practitioners of anything to learn more. There's always more to learn, always more flavors and textures to add to the palette, you know. But I'm really excited to practice some of the things that I've learned on my journey to Vietnam. Some amazing stuff, and hopefully I can share it with you in future videos. Yeah, but Sarah, I send you all my love. You know, I really hope that you find that place that we're talking about. You know, this place where we are not giving or taking too much, where it's very centered. I really hope you find that place, and when you find that place, ooh, oh man. So with myself, you know, sometimes the sessions that I have with people who come to visit my home or come to my sanctuary, sometimes the sessions can last 2.5 hours long. And this is me really being very present. And towards the end of it, if I have been with integrity, I feel more stronger. I feel much more stronger than when I started the session. This is what we describe as cultivating chi. So I'm not sure about yourself. I'm not sure what kind of practices you do for yourself, but I recommend maybe some qigong. Your yoga is really amazing to give you that flexibility, to give you the awareness of breath and movement and body. But if you're able to practice qigong, it really helps you now to cultivate what we describe as universal energy or internal energy. So maybe look into that, maybe delve into qigong. I've uploaded uploaded some live streams, you know, more recently. So maybe you want to take a look at those videos. Within those videos, there's knowledge. There's drops of gold. There's gold nuggets in those videos. I really recommend you watching them. I've been practicing qigong now since I was very young. You know, there was a time in my life where I stopped practicing it. There was like a 15-year window, 15-year window where I didn't practice it, and I became crazy. And it went till I went on my journey, and I returned back to my qigong, my family roots, my family tradition, when I was able to start healing myself again. But I recommend it. Do qigong, practice it, give it a try. Stevie Matthew writes, yeah, that's true, of course. I'm not saying anything else, but I enjoy spending time with my mum. My family is very expensive in Vancouver, but I pay rent. 300 is nothing, bro. Yeah, family's important, innit, bro? You know, we don't choose our family, isn't it? That's the truth. We all get born into families. We can choose our friends, but we can't choose family. And something that I like to think it's a romantic ideal, but maybe it might help you or help others out there. I feel that the family that I am born into, they are the ones that I can learn from the most. Have a think about that. It could mean that you might learn not to be like them, or it could mean that you can learn to be more like them. It's up to you. But I really feel that the family that we are born into are the ones that we can learn from the most, that we can grow, that we can blossom, that we can evolve, you know. That's what I really feel. And we could choose our friends, but you can learn the most from your family. So Steely Matthew writes, 1,800 for 1 bedroom, and that's a bachelor in downtown. Not even a 1 bedroom, so it's very expensive. Oh, bro. Yeah, if you can live with your family for as long as you can, it's a no-brainer, you know. Living independently can be very hard, very hard. You know, trying to save up and all that stuff, you know. So yeah, if you can, man, stick with the family for as long as you can. Enjoy, you know, enjoy family life, man. Natalie Major writes, hi Kai, I'm trying to teach myself French. How can I teach myself to sit down and learn little by little, yet consistently? You know, in order to sit down and to be still, you must allow your body to seek conclusion. And what I mean is this. If you are sitting down and you can't sit still, maybe get up and allow your body to not be still until it can be still. I find that with the people I help, many times, you know, you might have energy within your being that needs to be released, and you can't release it by just trying to pretend to be still. So maybe go jogging or something, maybe swimming, some kind of movement, mobile exercise. And after you've done that, then you're going to want to sit down. And if you find that if you sit down and you feel tired and you fall asleep, then so be it. Fall asleep. Your body's telling you, oh, well, I need to rest, I need to sleep. Let that seek conclusion. And then when you wake up, you'll find that you'll become much more refreshed. You'll find that this movement is now less so, that you will be able to sit still. I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. Sometimes we try to jump before we can walk. So yes, if you can't sit still, allow your body not to be still until it can sit still. Don't force it. Never force anything. That's what I really feel with myself as well. I try not to force anything. Always go with the flow. Go with the flow. It's becoming, you know, starting a relationship with your body. If you can really start a relationship with your body, become one with your body, then your mind is going to be more peaceful, more calm, and then you'll be able to learn. You'll be able to concentrate and focus more. So Natalie, I hope that answers your question. But in practical sense, I guess I could add is maybe make some friends with French-speaking people. Make some friends with, you know, with French speakers. That's going to really help. Maybe if you can, take a trip to France or somewhere that they speak French. And that's a quick way of learning another language if you're just surrounded by it. Yeah, I hope that helps. Ayub Benhamaduche writes, any solutions for depression? I mean, I have a hard time. Ayub, I feel you, man. I've been there. I've been down that route of depression. It's a well, you know, I call it the well of despair. What really helps is for you to become aware that there is a direct correlation to how you're feeling with how your body is. And I'll give you an example right now. If I sit down too often and if I start hunching forward, if I do not allow my breath to continue to come and go, I start bending forward onto my diaphragm, my ability to breathe more deeply becomes less. And this here starts putting me in a state of depression, physically and psychologically. So my best advice to you, and I'm coming from someone who has lived that life, is I really recommend, if you can, start being a bit more active. You're gonna have to dig deep. You're gonna have to find within your own being like this willpower just to become a bit more active. You know, maybe take little walks in the beginning, taking some walks into nature if you can. I really recommend it. Going into nature, you know, and then just having a little walk around. And if you want to, maybe sit down on a bench or sit down by a stream and just watch the stream, watch the water. But you're gonna have to dig deep. It's gonna take some kind of courage, you know. I'm pleased, you know, I'm speaking with my heart right now. I'm speaking very deeply here because I've been down that road. You're gonna have to really want it, man. You have to really want it, because I describe it as the well of despair, because when you fall down that well, in the beginning, it's like addictive. It's, you know, very addictive to be by yourself and being alone and stuff like this, but after a while, it's hard to climb up it. But you're gonna have to really want it, really want it. You know, from my heart to yours, I really hope you find that spark within you. And I know you got it. You know you have this spark within you to do it. Just gotta believe. In the beginning, even if you have to, lie to yourself. Look in the mirror and say, yeah, I'm gonna be fine. I'm going to get better. Like, I really hope you find that within you. I really do. Really hope you find that within you. But remember, if you can, it's all about breathing as well. Just taking a gentle breath and sighing and repeating that. Eventually your body starts catering for you to breathe in deeper. You'll be less hunched on your diaphragm. Because depression, there is a physical state of depression and there's a psychological state, and both are interrelated, both are very interrelated. If you find it hard to help your mind, help your body first, and then your mind's gonna follow, your perspective's gonna follow. Man, I feel for you. I've been there. It's hard, man. Just know that I'm thinking about you. There's others out here all thinking for you, man. Carl Cunningham writes, thanks for sharing your energy, master. Well, Carl, it's always an honor to, you know, it's always an honor. Carl's, I always get comments from him on my videos, and it's always nice, always makes me smile. Stevie Matthew writes, for sure, photography is, but photography is a love of his, but as of now, I do need a job just as extra income, but the journey of photography isn't gonna end. Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it, isn't it? For now, get yourself a job so you know you can earn some ways, and so you can, like, you know, feed yourself, maybe help out your family. But your love for photography, yeah, you can always do that. Always do that. But I really, you know, urge, you know, to don't stop doing what you love. Eventually, it's gonna pay off. Eventually, I really feel that if we all did what we love, the world would be wonderful, you know. And I don't mean like, you know, not everyone could be an actor, not everyone could be a singer. Some of us, we are misguided of what we think we love. You're gonna have to dig deep again. You have to go inward, become very honest on what you know you love. It's not like think, you know, think, and it's, yeah, you have to be very honest. But yeah, bro, I really hope you continue on with your love for photography, and one day it's gonna pay off. Anthony Mac Costello writes, TCK love you, man. Yeah, make life worth living just by remotely viewing your energy. Oh man, that's amazing. No, just reading from your comment, you got some really good vibes. Anthony, I can feel it, man. Yeah, man. You got good vibes, I can feel it. But yeah, thank you for joining us right now. Thank you for being a part of this stream. So the title's fine for stealing. Sleepy Waves writes, hi, how are you doing? Well, I'm doing fine, Sleepy Waves, and I hope you're feeling fine too. Christopher Moser writes, love from Germany. Well, love back to Germany. Thank you so much for joining. Osama Alam writes, will you be doing breathing exercise videos? So Osama Alam, I have a series of live stream classes or sessions, so to speak, of Li Qigong, where I demonstrate to the people present how to breathe. So you might want to take a look at those videos. They're entitled Li Qigong online session or free holistic something. But if you look through my videos, you'll find under the playlist of live stream classes, you'll find those videos. I might do a series of videos that will be specific to that, but for now, I recommend you watch those videos. Marcellus 2407 writes, how many languages do you speak? I speak 2 languages. I speak 2.5 languages. So I speak English, I speak Vietnamese, and a bit of Cantonese, which is like Chinese. When I was in school, I learned French, but I can't remember most of it. I haven't practiced it enough. Mr. Dark Wolf writes, title is perfect. Thank you for sending all of this positive energy through the internet. Oh, that's amazing. I'm glad you feel the energy, and this energy that you feel is not just from me, it's from everyone present, you know, everyone present right now, but also for the ones that are going to be watching or listening in the future. Imagine that. If you think about it, the time is always now. You know, as beings, as sentient beings, we are observing life in linear, but really the time is always now. It's always now. So this energy you're feeling, and for myself, I always feel that we just need to be open to feel this energy, you know? Just be open to it. It's the saying goes, you know, we only know what we know, and if you open your mind, or open your perspective to things, you will see things. You will be open to it. Sleepy Waves writes, Kai, any advice on letting go of a relationship, having a hard time moving on from a romantic to a friendship with someone dear to me? Thank you. Well, I'm sorry to hear you going through the sleepy waves. What I remind myself, and I hope this somehow you can relate to it. You have to remember the time before you was in that relationship, how you was before you was in that relationship. You must realize this, that we cannot rely on others, you know. As I say to people often, that we are like birds flying alone together, meaning that I can't fly for you and you cannot fly for me. So for example, me and my wife, I love her, she loves me, but at the same time we both love ourselves respectively. I'm very aware that, you know, that we fly together. I can't be her wing and she can't be my wing, meaning that I don't own her. She does not own me. You know, we all are sentient beings. You know, we're all equal in every way. Love is something that you can't share. You know, you can be love, but love is not something you share or you separate or you give or take. It isn't. If you truly love that person, you must also let them go. You have to let them be free. I hope that helps what I'm saying here. Because if you're finding it hard to let go, it's almost like you don't really love them. It's almost like they were a drug that you're addicted to. That's not love. You know, I hope that hits home what I'm saying. A romantic friendship, and then, you know, what do you mean by romantic? Was it a physical thing? Was it an emotional thing? Once again, if it was physical or emotional, that's not real love either. Remember, love is something you cannot share. We are all free. We're all free. No one belongs to anyone. So if you can remember the time, how you was before you started that relationship, you need to bring yourself back to that point. You know, we can only share the experience with each other. We can't own each other. We can't possess each other. That's not real love. Like romantic, the new romantics, but romantics is something that you kind of have to start contemplating within your own being as well. What do you mean by romantic? You know, and then friendship as well. Use the word friendship. True friendship is, once again, it's very equal. You know, my friends, I regard them as my brothers and sisters. You know, we are, like, for example, we'd be like, you know, just riding side by side together or running, but I can't run for you and you can't run for me. True friendship is that. True friendship is that you can still be apart from each other. You'll notice this, like, people can relate to this. Like, those friends that are good friends, you could be away from them for like months or even years. But then the moment you get together, it's almost like no time has passed. That there is real friendship. I've often said, my friends that I have, we'd be like going to each other's funerals. Those there are real friends to me. And I might not even see them for like years, but when we see each other, no time has passed. That's the same with love as well. If you really love someone, wow, you can be separate from them, but you can ride with them, and you'll always be the same love. I really hope within what I've just conveyed there, you feel what I'm saying. Just remember that. Love is not about ownership. It's not about slavery, man. We're all equal. You can't share. Be love. Be love. Alex Ribeiro writes, hello from Portugal. Well, hello Portugal, sending love and blessings in a positive spirits, in good spirit. Sarah T writes, definitely working on center. Oh yeah, definitely need to have more info. I want to teach people how to self-massage. So the thing with self-massage, Sarah, this is something that I've often tried to. So here's the thing. If I try to massage, for example, if I have an issue with my shoulder, let's say we've got an issue with the traps here, the shoulder. If I massage here and I don't do it mindfully, meaning that I start becoming too egoic when I'm massaging, what's going to happen is I'm going to start creating issues on the other side here. It's almost like a dog trying to chase his own tail, or in other words, trying to scratch an unreachable itch. Because if I start massaging myself in an unmindful way, I will start causing problems on the other side. There's always a yin-yang, always a yin-yang. But if we are able to put ourselves in a meditative trance state now, almost like not how to describe it, like you're in a trance state and you're really allowing the breath to come and go, then you can massage yourself. But if someone is not mindful and they massage themselves, they might even create more problems. So I don't know. That's why in some of my classes, I just towards the end of the class, I will show the people present some movements, but they're not really massaged. They're actually whole body movements. Rarely are they like kind of like repetitive motions here. If you think about it, this can cause RSI again, like repetitive strain injury. But if I do certain movements where I use my whole body, then the whole body becomes a massage. Because we're using breath now to expand the body, and if you move your body in a certain way, that's where the massage gets involved. It's referring back to Qigong. I really recommend you practicing Qigong or looking into it. But self-massage, you have to be careful there. You have to be really careful, which can actually make yourself more twisted, more knotted. Sarah T continues writing, thank you for the love, sending big hugs. Well, sending you massive hugs. I love hugging. I'm the hug master. I've got an interesting story about that. You know, there was a time where my father, he's like a stereotypical, like, Oriental Chinese guy. You know, very doesn't speak much. I used to see him as a mountain, and my father, rarely did he ever tell me he loved me. You know, we rarely spoke in that kind of level, that kind of way. And what had happened is I went off on my journey, my pilgrimage at the time, and when I got reborn and returned back to the UK as the avatar known as Tao Chi Kai, I knew within my being that I had to hug this being that I describe as father. And when I held my father for the first time, he was like stone. It was like hugging a rock. You know, he was very still and stiff. He didn't know how to react to it. But I was persistent. Every time that I saw him, I would tell him that I loved him and I hugged him. And then one day, wow, he melted within my bosom, in my arms. You know, all the facade that he was holding of being a mountain, of being the protector, of being the king, of being the lion, it melted. And it was just me hugging my brother, hugging my friend, hugging my son, the way I held him, and he just completely let go. And I said to him, I love you, and he, for the first time, said, I love you. You know, it was a beautiful moment. So yeah, hugging is very important, guys. If anything, if you want to learn to massage, learn to hug, like really lovingly. Start hugging your mother, your father, your brother, sister. Start there. Maybe you want to start hugging yourself. Just to really hug yourself. Have you ever tried that? Maybe you want to try this right now. You know, if you're at the office or maybe you're at home right now, you've got some time. Don't be ashamed, you know. Try hugging yourself. Hugging yourself in such a way where there's love there. Hugging yourself. And then you extend that eventually to hugging your brother, your sister, your family members. And then eventually you can start hugging other people, but in such a way where it's really loving. I encourage people to hug. That there is like the beginning of massage. It is really the beginning. Silver Spirit 89 writes, love your videos. They always help me relax. Thank you. Silver Spirit, thank you for watching. You were born in 1989, eh? You're born in the year of the snake. That's similar to me, man. Very philosophical guy. Very wise for your age. Silver Spirit. But thank you so much for watching and for commenting. Sarah T writes, I understand that 2 hours long sessions. If it's a give and gives during session, I'm level 1 Qigong. You do Qigong as well. I took the class. Okay. I recommend you continue, you know. just practice. Qigong is very, for me, it's fundamental, especially with energy work. Qigong it's because if you can practice if you are able to conduct yourself in a certain way during practice, you start delving into what we call internal martial arts. And when I help people, I'm delving into that part of my practice. I'm able to, in quotes, go into their body, not just through touch, but also through what I describe my middle eye. I'm able to really visualize, really travel with them in their internal landscape. Yeah. Will Gibson writes, I love you, Kai, even though you shut me down and said I'd break your vibe because I watch you while taking a number 2. Man, there's nothing wrong with watching me while you're taking a number 2, you know? Because it helps you to relax, isn't it? But here's some advice for, you know, when you're going to the toilet, and this advice that everyone should really listen to. Avoid pushing. You know, when you go to the toilet, be it number 1 or number 2, avoid pushing. Really just allow your breath to come and go. Take a breath in and breath go. And what's going to happen here is your breath is going to naturally, your inner pressure is going to naturally expel what needs to be expelled. Whereas many of us, we might rush to go toilet. Because I'm very aware of this. Some of us are always constantly in the future. We're always trying to be quicker than we should be. So we'll go to toilet and we push. This is not good, because if you push, you will start creating what we call hemorrhoids inside. You start creating an imbalance in your pressure. So avoid pushing, I promise you. Another thing about the modern toilet is ergonomically is not natural. You know, a good way to go toilet really is to squat. So if you can look on Amazon or certain shops, there's these stools that you can buy where you slot underneath the toilet, which allows you to squat. Give it a try. Because when you squat, your body goes into a very natural posture for things to be expelled. And then you're able just to breathe more naturally. You're able to breathe from your diaphragm. And when you breathe from your diaphragm, your body naturally starts creating internal pressure. Internal pressure should be greater than outer pressure. But if you're constantly pushing, you're going to get hemorrhoid. If not hemorrhoid, you're going to start getting some imbalance in your internal pressure. So I recommend do not push when you go toilet. Just breathe, man. Naturally breathe. Steely Matthew writes, nature is my favorite. Ocean is nice. I couldn't live without it. I'm gonna take a walk after this live. Ray Roberts. Hey bro. He writes, this man is an icon. So Ray Roberts is a fellow YouTuber, and if, I urge you guys to come to check out his channel. He makes some awesome videos, and also a good friend of mine. Connor Harkins writes, where do you think the mindset goal for your teachings will be in, let's say, 5 years? Wow. I can imagine that my mindset would, if I continue the way it is, it will be like how it is now. I practice mindfulness, you know. I practice to always be in the present. I don't often think about the future or regret about the past. I'm always trying to maintain a presentness. So I imagine my teachings will be revolved around this. Obviously, I would have picked up maybe more knowledge on my travels, from my experiences. But fundamentally, I really feel that I'll continue to be on this wave, I guess. I hope that answers your question, Connor Harkins. Serenity writes, more self-massage through movements, but mindfully doing in allowing the body to release, because it knows what it needs. Yeah, the body knows what it needs. I also agree with that, because when we are able to differentiate between what we perceive ourselves to be and also the body that we possess, we are able now just to really allow the body to be natural. Because, you know, we all know this, the body breathes by itself. But this character that I play, without knowing sometimes, I can force the body to hold on to the breath, which is going to create disarray within the body. But if I can practice to become mindful, to not be clinging, to not be judgmental, to not be in attachment, I can then allow my body to become more natural. The reason why I practice Qigong, the reason why I practice to be mindful, is to really become more natural. I allow myself to freely express myself. I try not to hold back, you know. In everyday life, I try not to hold back. It's almost like, in a sense, I'm a wild animal. But yes, the body knows what it needs. When we become too cerebral, too overthinking, that's when the problems occur. That's when the ego becomes too powerful. The ego becomes tyrannical. That's how we describe it. So it's good to start a loving and compassionate relationship with thy body. The boy Frosty writes, hi Kai, in mindfulness practice, what do they mean when they say look for the one who is knowing? So yes, I describe it as really becoming aware from where you are perceiving from. Become aware from where you are perceiving from. That is what they mean by look for the one who is knowing. Because when you look in the mirror, you only see what you want to see. That there is ego, that there is imagination. But if you look inside now, go internally, look from where it is you are perceiving from. It is there where you will behold or become the one who is knowing. And the one who is knowing has no name. It has no form, no body. It is deathless, it's sleepless. That is what we can describe as naked intrinsic awareness, I guess. But the boy Frosty, I hope that answers your question. Yeah, just look within. When a big part of mindfulness is really just to allow the breath to come and go. We watch the breath to make sure we're not controlling it. Once you are able to really allow the breath to come and go, your ego starts to dismantle, it starts to unravel. You'll start noticing the spaces between the thoughts. So just keep on practicing, it takes time. But it's good that you get advice from a practitioner, a master. Because if you try just to practice by yourself, and I'm speaking from my own experience, when you practice when you conduct yourself in an incorrect way, it can lead to insanity, it can lead to madness, it can lead to further disillusion or delusion. So yeah, if you can, seek a master. I'm always here, you can write me an email, and I always help as best I can. Ray Roberts writes, needed to hear your words this evening, brother. It's well, I'm back now. Well, hopefully we'll catch up soon, bro. Danny Morgan writes, I have to thank you for the balance and relaxation that you brought to my life. Well, I'm glad I helped you in some way, Danny Morgan. I'm glad. But thank you for being here today and, and commenting. And just know that, we're all here for each other, isn't it? And I hope you try that what we did early on, where I said, practice to hug yourself. Sometimes hugging a tree can help as well. What I used to do before, when I was going on my journey of letting go, I guess, I would go into nature, and every now and then I'll hug a tree. And when I hug a tree, I just whisper things to it, secrets. I would tell the tree things that I'd never told anyone. It was my way of letting go of the baggage, And eventually, it whispering started to become me letting go of the tree and just shouting and screaming on top of my lungs, all these things that I've been holding inside. But yeah, I hope that's going to help you in some way, that me sharing that. EB writes, the present really is the gift. Yeah, man, once you realize that, everything changes. Oh my gosh, it changes so much. It really changes. The clue is in the word, isn't it? When we say the present, man. Like, for myself, I often do it. I'll say in my mind, I'll say, thank you, oh Father, for this wonderful life, for this beautiful life. I'll say, thank you, oh Mother, for this wonderful life. And I'll say, thank you for this wonderful life. And I'll say, thank you. And then after that, it's silence. And there's this complete gratitude that I embody, But the reason why I do that is always to remind myself of the present. Because if you notice there, I say it in my mind, it starts off with a string of like, thank you, oh Mother, for this wonderful life. Thank you, oh Father, for this beautiful life. And there's a string of words, but then eventually it starts becoming complete silence. And that silence there is representing of embodying, of being completely present in the moment. Maybe that's something that you guys can do for yourself, just thank something often. Doesn't matter whatever you believe in, just show some kind of gratitude. Not show, but really acknowledge some gratitude for all of this. Jeez Louise. I've said in the past to people that, being alive is like, wow, what is the probability of you existing? It's like infinitum. Like, we are miracles. Like, you being able to perceive right now is a miracle. Like, this whole thing, I don't want to sound like a Bible basher, but man, there's no words to describe like how in awe I am of everything. The best that I could do is really just embody it, really express it in everything that I do, in everything that I say, in everything. But yeah, the present really is a gift. Thank you, EB, for reminding us all. Serity writes, what was the term you used about being able to see within the person's body by continuing to practice Qigong? I experienced that. Everybody is a lesson for me. It's I'm describing using the middle eye, using intuition. Because when I'm helping someone, sometimes I'll get flashes of things. I'll get flashes of maybe a feeling, an emotion, or maybe like an image or something like this, but also extends to me being able to really see energy, really see in a multi-dimensional way energy. I'm very aware that it is imagination, but hey, we have to remind ourselves right now we're using imagination to perceive the whole world. So it's no different to when I'm helping someone and I'm using my imagination to look within their internal landscape. It's no different. I know this is true. Because right now, if you think about it, you're using your eyes, but you're extrapolating it in the confines of your mind. So we really see what we want to see. So it's no different to when I'm helping others and looking inside the body. I'm using the same thing. Same thing. I hope that answers the question, Sarah. But it takes time. It took time. That's one of the first things that you'll notice. So maybe becoming more mindful of breathing, more mindful to allow the breath to come and go. Maybe taking some kind of mindful breathing exercise classes together. You know, maybe taking strolls in nature. I mention it often. Maybe going to nature and just going to nature together and just watching nature. But the thing with the breath, what I say to people is, if you can't watch the breath, if it's not so evident this ebb and flow, what you can do in the beginning is actually hold on to the breath. I tell people it's almost like you're closing the door and not allowing the breath to come and go. If you do this, after a while, it's very obvious. The breath becomes very obvious. You do this a bunch of times and then you'll find that your breath will start becoming much more deeper and there's more depth to the breath. But that's a practice. That's a mindful breathing practice. I have a series of videos on a playlist entitled live stream classes that you might want to watch together. They're Qigong classes, and within those classes in the beginning, I demonstrate and I teach and show certain breathing exercises that would really help. I recommend it. Maybe that's something that you can both have a talk about. But I really hope that helps. Ben Steiger writes, your videos inspire me. I'm 21 years old and I'm passionate about giving chair massages. How should I go about creating my own videos? I don't know, you know, you can maybe have a tripod. If you have a friend that can help, just to film it and then boom, upload it. That's it really. It's not, you know, don't need to think too hard about it, Ben. You know, just do that really. And the more you practice, the more you become more confident, more comfortable with whatever it is you are practicing. But yeah, I wish you luck. It's very inspiring, you know, that you wanna, you know, start doing chair massages. But yeah, keep practicing. You know, practice on your friends, your family, and eventually you might want to go on the streets as I do and just. Because you know, when I go on the streets and I set up my massage chair and I'll put a little sign saying free massages, in the beginning a lot of people are quite reluctant to. Sometimes, you know, you might get someone who's excited that it's a free chair massage, but sometimes people are reluctant to. But all it takes is for one person to sit down, and once I start massaging them, people start gathering around because they can see the amount of energy that I'm putting in. And before you know it, I've got queues of people lining up to get massaged. But yeah, I recommend with the filming, just film it. don't think too hard about it, and then upload it. If you don't want to upload it, maybe you want to watch back on the videos and just see your technique and just, you know, to evaluate how you can change your technique maybe. And there's a lot of things you could do. You know, there's some ideas there. But it's awesome that you're learning to do chair massage. Keep it up, bro. Ben Steiger writes, he continues, writes, sport is my way of finding mindfulness. Do you think there's a way to combine both? Oh man, yeah, definitely. So moving meditation is this. If you are moving and not thinking too hard about how you're moving and you're just really in the flow, we call it, you know, some people describe it as being on fire or being in the zone. That there is moving meditation. You know, if you're playing sports with your friends and you're having a good time, and no, competition is not that much mindfulness, but if you're moving around and you're in the flow, in the zone, that there is moving meditation, man. It's not just Qigong and Tai Chi and all that stuff. Because, you know, believe it or not, some people they might be practicing Tai Chi or Qigong, and when I observe them, I'm very aware that they're not in meditation. They're still egoic in the way they do it. But if you are cooking, for example, or you might be like a mechanic, or you might be an engineer, or you might be an ice skater, you might be a painter, You'll notice even like people who play music, pianists and stuff like that. Wow, you could tell when someone's in the zone. When someone is in a zone, that there is meditation. But they're not thinking, they're just channeling, they're being an open doorway, like a window. So yeah, if you found meditation in your sports, then keep it up. Keep it up. But just remember, when it starts becoming too much of a competition and you become too aggressive, that there's no longer meditation. Meditation when there's no anticipation of outcome. You're just in the zone, you're just in the moment, just doing whatever you're doing, that there's meditation. Jamosh writes, it's literally a 1 in 400 trillion chance of you existing. We are all miracles. Wow, yeah, that's it. Definitely, we are all miracles, man. I remind myself often, wow, I've said to you early on, in my mind or within my own being, I'm thanking something. Doesn't matter what you guys believe in, but I have my own views and my own beliefs in it. But I'm always grateful, very grateful. It could be anything, even if something, what we describe as a bad situation, I'll find myself thanking whatever it is, all that can be, I thank it for giving me the opportunity to really experience it. And yeah, it's good. We are this whole place is a miracle. Seriously. Ben Steiger writes, following your sense is the key to live in the presence. Sometimes it may seem difficult to persevere. Yeah. Wise words, Ben. Wise words, yeah. Follow your intuition. That's what I say. I call it, following the compass, following your heart. But sometimes when we're too cerebral, when you're too thinking about stuff, you can miss the whole picture, isn't it? You can miss the whole picture. Right, so, well, it's coming up to nearly midnight now. So right now in London, UK, it's 11:55, 26th of February. Zen Chill with Tao Chi Kai. I'd like to thank everyone that's been present. I'd like to thank you, wonderful viewers and listeners that are watching from the future. I'm going to read the rest of these last comments here and start to wind off because I got an early start. This is way past my bedtime. But thank you all so much, especially to all the members. A massive shout out to all the members that are in chat today. You guys are really helping a lot. I appreciate the love and you following along. Sleepy Waves writes, Kai, are you ever planning on coming to NYC? Yeah, I am, definitely. I want to do a video where I find Lu Dong because I'm often compared with Lu Dong on the comments and it always makes me laugh. But yeah, I'm gonna go to NYC, I'm gonna contact Lu Dong, I'm gonna find him, we're gonna exchange energy. I really wanna experience his massage. It's gonna be a funny one. But eventually I will be in America. I will be. But I'm gonna let you guys know beforehand because I'm sure a bunch of you are gonna wanna meet me. Like 30% of my subscribers are from America. Sarah T writes, I know what you mean, my middle eye leads every session. Mitch, who's a member, writes, I love watching the group session vids, learned so much. Mitch, thank you so much for for watching those videos. When I make any video, even right now, I'm very aware that there's people in the future watching this. So I'm always addressing everyone. We're breaking the fourth wall here, isn't it? But yeah, thank you for joining along with those sessions. And first and foremost for you, to really listening to your heart, isn't it? for you wanting to start a relationship with your body. And I hope you continue to join in the classes. I'm going to have we're going to have another class this Thursday. So hopefully you'll watch that. Mitch, if you want to join in with the classes, please give me an email. Go to the website, give me an email, and if you want to, you could join in with one of the live classes. You know, it's not hard. The classes are free, you know, and it's always nice to have more people involved. So just something maybe you want to have a think about. Jack Shields writes, Dear Master Kai, what advice do you give to a young person who has had a hard time with opening up with his emotions and inner self? Jack Shields, that's a really brave question, you know, and that's a very good question you've asked. The best advice that I could give to you is, at the moment, don't be afraid of opening up. You know, because I imagine right now you're still discovering who you are, isn't it? And if you have been keeping up to date, if you have been following along with what I've been sharing with the world, is that right now, what you believe yourself to be is a character. Is a character that is still forming, because when you was first born, and when I say you, I mean the body that you possess was first born, it had no idea of what the character you are playing right now is. So for example, if your name is Jack, when the body was first born, it had no idea what Jack was. It's only when the people around you continued to calling you Jack, when eventually you started understanding or started associating that sound Jack as you. So one day someone might have said Jack and you turned around. That day was the moment when the character formed. It started to become more crystalline. So what I'm saying is, this character that you're playing at the moment is not set in stone, my brother. So you shouldn't be afraid of anything. You know, you shouldn't be afraid to expressing however you want to express yourself, because the character you play will continually change and evolve. But what makes it so much more beautiful to acknowledge is that, hey, you're playing a character. Nothing's for keeps. Things start becoming much more harder for us as we get older, when we believe ourselves to be that character. You'll notice this. You'll notice with people who are older, some people who feel very threatened when we describe them as having very, you know, powerful egos, or they're having an ego trip. It's because they believe themselves to be real. But if you keep on reminding yourself that, hey, I'm just playing a character, maybe one day I'm playing a character of happy, maybe one day or one moment I'm playing a character of sad. If you just remind yourself this, you become very empowered. You realize that, whoa, I'm just playing a character, you know? And this character can be anything it wants to be. So Jack, I really hope that answers your question, you know? I really hope within what I said reminds you something about yourself. Yeah? And the thing with emotions is, just have to be honest. Just be honest. You know, if you feel a certain way, there's nothing wrong with just expressing it. The more you practice, the more it becomes easier and easier just to express yourself. Yeah, for some of us, like with myself, I'm 46 years old now. You know, I live in a generation, even the generations older than me, we lived in times where it was not encouraged for men to cry. It was not encouraged for men to speak their emotions. But now, as we're going through this new generation, like with you guys, whoa, we're encouraging you just to express yourself. You know, express yourself. So I hope that helps, man. Ben Steiger writes, I like the quote, "It is not meditation anymore when there is an expected outcome." Yeah, Ben, it's no longer meditation. Meditation is always about just being present, just being a witness, just being like a newborn child, you know, with eyes wide open and just accepting everything. No judgment. That's meditation. It's just to witness, just allow things to unfold. Azam writes, I used your massage videos to help my parents. Thank you. Azam, wow, thank you. Thank you for, helping your parents. That's why it's these videos that I create, this whole journey that I'm on, this whole thing that I'm on is to inspire the next generation. Because my son, he sees me going out there, every now and then he'll watch me, maybe watch my videos or watch me massage my parents, and I know that in time he's gonna one day do the same for me. And in turn, his children are gonna see him do the same for me. And then that's how we pay it forward. This is why I say pay it forward. That's what it means. We're helping now for the future. So thank you, Azam, thank you. You keep on doing that, and hopefully you will inspire your children and even maybe inspire your friends and your own family members to do the same. And this is how we help each other. This is how we change the future. This is how we can really change. And I really believe that this is how we can bring out world peace, peacefully. If we start from within the family, and then moving out towards the community, and then that's how we do it. That's what I really feel this. The world just needs a little healing, a little love, Love begets love. Soji writes, looking forward to more videos. Yeah, there's some videos. We dropped a preview today, so members of the channel, early bird members of the channel and above, they all get to watch the videos before public release, between 1 and 3 months before everyone else. And this is my way of thanking members, I have to thank them in some way for supporting the channel. And yes, there's more videos to come, much more. Steely Matthew writes, he can't answer questions. Joe Jordan writes, do you ever get self-conscious when filming public videos? I would be too scared to. I care what people think. Yeah, Joe, that's you answered the question there yourself, isn't it? You care what people think. With myself, I don't care. I really don't care. So for me, when I help someone, it's because I really want to. I give 100%. I am completely present in me helping them. I'm aware that I'm being filmed and also because I really want to help the people I'm talking to the camera. I'm also present with them as well. So I'm not really worried about what's happening around me, But I'm also aware of what's happening around me. Don't get me wrong, I'm very aware of what's happening around me. But in essence, I have no fear of what I'm doing. No fear. So what really helps is not to care what other people think, because what they think is their business. Does that make sense? What they think is their business, it's not your business. So it doesn't matter what they think. What's important is how you perceive yourself. That's what's really important. Yeah, I hope that helps. Ben Steiger writes, last question, what is your thought on charisma? How do you build it? Measure it within your character. Charisma. You know what it is? When we talk about charisma, we're talking about an individual who has some kind of sparkle, some kind of shine, and I really feel that this is something that will come when you become more comfortable within your own being. When you feel comfortable with yourself, it really shows. It really shows. What can help is maybe becoming more articulate. So that means being able to articulate, to communicate. And this comes in the form of reading more, maybe conversing more, But it's a combination of all these things. But I really feel charisma comes when all these things come when you become more comfortable within your own being. When you're able to really acknowledge from where you choose to perceive from, where you choose to perceive everything from, when you acknowledge this is when you start having integrity. And that's what I feel will bring about charisma. I hope that answers the questions, Ben. You've asked some really cool questions. Very cool questions. I really enjoy these questions. Rudy, human rights. Hey, it's my favorite avatar. Hey, Rudy. OG Sai writes, Tao Chi Kai, can you say hi to Mark? Which Mark are you talking about? I know, how many Marks do I know? I know quite a few Marks, but yeah, I'll say hi to all the Marks if OG Sai. Who's OG Sai? Okay. So this is going to be I'm going to read the last few comments now, then we'll have to start saying goodbye, isn't it? Because I need to sleep. I've got an early start tomorrow, and it's past my bedtime. But Splotched, right, are there any massage techniques you aren't very familiar with, but really admire from other countries? So there's a place that I'm planning to go to, and it's India. There's things that I really want to learn there. But in terms of techniques, it all depends on the individual. It all depends on the flavor. The thing that I've learned most from people is, so your techniques, right, it comes from your body ergonomics. Our bodies can have certain functions, certain movements. So a lot of techniques come from what your body's capabilities are, what its movements are. But the way you flow, the rhythm, because remember, it's an art form. This is something that you develop. But at the moment, I really feel like I really like Thai massage. Thai massage is beautiful, It's like a mixture of yoga and it's a mixture of yoga, manipulation. I really like at the moment I really like Thai massage. But there's a lot of different styles. This is why I travel a lot. This is why I go to different places to learn as much as I can. But I really feel it does depend on the individual as well. Whereas you can have, for example, you might have like 10 practitioners of Thai massage and not all of them are good. But also it depends on who you can relate to. If that makes sense? Like who you have a vibe with. You might have to go to different therapists, and then eventually you find a therapist that you get on with, that kind of has a similar vibe with you. Not everyone matches. But yes, at the moment I really like Thai massage. So I'm thinking about going to Chiang Mai and doing a course there to get more techniques from that school. But also I want to go to India, because there's some things that I want to meet. I'm always trying to find that master. I'm always trying to find those gems that you have to kind of go off the beaten track to find. Rudy, human rights. What are your thoughts about psychedelics? I've dabbled in psychedelics before. I've tried psychedelics. But what I can say from my own perspective is some of the things that I have witnessed, experienced during psychedelic experiences, trips, I have already witnessed during meditation, during states of meditation. So, but I prefer reaching those states through meditation rather than taking psychedelics. Because I think someone mentioned this before, like, for example, with DMT, when we pipe it or we smoke it, we take this express elevator to this point where we are given this experience of enlightenment or going off to a different realm and all this kind of stuff. And I really feel we miss out on the journey. We miss that out. Because my journey of meditation, it taught me time. It taught me practice, time, and the amount of things that I learned and I let go of during that journey is so much more fulfilling, so much more wholesome than when I just take an acid trip, you know? I mean, don't get me wrong, there are things that you can learn during those psychedelic trips, but I always recommend that going the natural way, as in like your own, because everything that you need is within you, you know, everything. And if anything, you know, if you've taken a psychedelic, with myself, it's almost like I can evoke myself in those states again, because I've already done it, I've already been through it. I no longer need those substances to get into those states. But yeah, psychedelics give you the full sense of enlightenment, you know. Sometimes it can add to the delusion. But in terms of the therapy, I think psychedelics can really help people in terms of therapy, as a therapeutic means. You know, studies and stuff like that. You know, psychedelics now in the medical field is very exciting times. There's more studies, you know, more mainstream medicines looking into it. So it's exciting times. But for myself personally, I don't really need psychedelics. But don't get me wrong, they're cool. Joe Jordan writes, are you still based in London? Would love a massage. Yes, Joe, I'm in London. Just check out my website. My website is taochikai.com. But you'll find like links to it on my about page, on the YouTube about page. And yeah, just get in contact there, and we'll book in a session. And you know, I'll try to help you as best I can. I always do. Always give 100%. You know. And all my sessions are very free flow. I work very intuitively. You know, I don't do like a routine. I don't do the routine because everyone's different. OG Sire writes, what is love? You are, we are, everything is. Baby, don't hurt me no more. Right, so now we're gonna come towards this this live stream, Zen Chill with Tao Chi Kai, 26th of February. I want to thank everyone. Well, it's just turned 27th February, which is gone 15 minutes past midnight. But I'd like to thank you all, everyone who's present now, and also for the ones watching in the future. You know, for following your hearts and joining in with this moment that we've all shared. You know, wherever you are, whenever you are in the world, I send you blessings and in good spirit. And look forward to seeing you on the next Zen Chill with Tao Chi Kai. But until then, take care. I'm the avatar, known as Tao Chi Kai. Om Nit Fu Om.